Welcome to another episode of Pure Transparency. We're your hosts,
Egu Bumi.
and Lee Jennings.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ataraxis, a place of unity, peace, and growth. Today's topic is Royal Ebony people co-parenting in and out of the household.
Yes.
So, um, this is near and dear to me, especially for our people and especially for the community. How hard is it for us to co-parent? Now, let's be honest. Everybody's like, it's not that hard. Some people's like, it's hard. It really depends on the people that you're mating with to have children with. But is it tangible for two people to be able to co-parent without being in a relationship? I know some we have success stories and then some we have horror stories. But are we able to come together for the well-being of this child and give this child what the child needs? Because the child didn't ask to be here. So why is it that we find ourselves in these difficult situations where we're not able to co-parent?
Okay. So, hold on. Before I start, today is special, so I'm going to say, "Hear ye, hear ye, here comes Emperor Nine." Thank you. So, so, yeah, yes, no, yes, no, I'm joking. Yes, say that again. Say it with your chest.
Get it, boo.
Gotta grab the air. Gotta grab the air.
Get
You
it,
know what I mean?
boo.
But
Get it,
so
boo.
basically, it goes and you gotta break it down in quarters. When you're doing monogamous, when you're doing poly, when you're just being single, even it's all co-parent is different. It's in different quarters. It doesn't matter your gender. It goes single, monogamous, and poly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're single, being a co-parent, yes, you and the child's father is not together anymore. You and the child's mother is not together anymore. But it's up to both of y'all to be mature enough and take the relationship out of it. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to take the past relationship out of it. And they go, "You hurt me, you hurt our kids." I'm like,
Yes,
no, I cheated on you. I ain't cheated on our kids. Or,
exactly. Exactly.
I put you down or you put me down. You get what I mean? You didn't
On the
put down
flip
our kids,
side of
our
that,
children.
man.
So you need
So,
to take the emotion out of it,
mm-hmm.
right? And put it, okay, you're a father now, you're a mother now. You get
Yes.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He or she is no longer your partner, and so you got to stop seeing them as that way. And a lot of people don't know how to stop seeing them that way. So it creates a fiction and a toxic environment every time that you're around. And then what most get into what creates an even more toxic environment if that person still has feelings for you and you
Yes.
moved on with a better partner. That
Yes.
partner might not be that much better than you, but that you got a partner. And he's looking
Exactly.
like, yo, you got a new man? He's taking care of you? What? What? You get what I'm saying? Oh,
Don't
no, he's
ever
not.
say
He
nothing
ain't
to
going
my
my son
child.
ain't gonna call him daddy.
Right.
Or, with women it's, get that bee away from my child. I don't
Can't do her
you get what I
hair.
mean? It's not about that. Take the emotion out of it. Now y'all parents. Now it's
Mm.
time to be mature. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
time to get to say, hey, all right, now we're not in the same household. This
Mm.
is what we need to do. We need to break down and come up with goals and come up with, hey, you want to get them on the weekend or what we doing during the week? Are you gonna go pick them up from school? Drop them off. How you want to do it? You want to spend time with them through the week? These are things that you have to discuss as mature adults. That whole no, you can get them 2 weeks every other weekend. Like how
Hurt.
that's not a father
Hurt
or a mother.
feelings. That's
You get
hurt
what I'm
feelings.
saying?
Hurt feelings. And the killing part about it is what I have experienced is that when the guy has broken up with me, he also broken up with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the child has nothing to do with that. Like you said before, you put your emotions on the kids. You're
Exactly.
involving the kids in your emotion. And there's a lot of times there's a flip side to that too. Women, when you have another, like you said, when you have a new relationship, all of a sudden they're so frustrated and they're so angry. How dare you move on when I'm still hurting and loving and still want you? And the flip
Right.
side of that, I was on the opposite side of that. My thing was, oh, you got a new girlfriend? Oh, you got somebody that's gonna help?
Hmm.
Tag in. You know what I mean? And
Right.
they were like, oh my God, how can you feel like that? Because I'm not the only parent. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So my
Hmm.
child is entrusted in his care. If something happens to my child in their care, oh, that's when I nut up. In the meantime,
Right.
by the time, baby, it takes a village. I understood that
Exactly.
young. I didn't feel no type of way about the female taking care of him. Well, this is what my
Hmm.
baby likes. This is what my baby don't like. To the point that we weren't cool. We weren't calling each other on the phone, but we would communicate through him. But
Right.
I never was to the point where I was so angry that I would take my kid away from him. No, you're a parent. I'm not the only parent
Exactly.
in this scenario. And my feelings wasn't in it to that point because at the end of the day, my son needs his father. And
Right.
then it's just
Hmm.
like, if you're not mature enough, if we're having a conversation and you're displaying to me that you're not able to be around my son because you're immature and you feel as though you're worried about the relationship between him and I, well, then
Hmm.
that shows me that no, you can't be around my kid. But if you're showing me
Exactly.
that you're legit and I'm seeing how you taking care of your kids and you take care of mine as if they're yours and better,
Hmm.
by all means, boo boo, knock yourself out.
Right.
Do what you need to do. Can he spend the night? He sure can. What do you need to be dropped off by? By 6? Absolutely. Take the
So,
personal out of it. The kid wins
so
at that point.
where a lot of parents need to understand, whether, doesn't matter the race, it doesn't, because this is not a race thing. This is
Just cross the board.
everybody thing, right?
Exactly.
Where they need to understand is you're not being replaced.
You're
This
not.
is an added on. You know,
Exactly.
you should be able, you and your new partner and them and their new partner should be able to spend Thanksgiving together or Christmas together to share a meal, to show your children that you could be mature enough to say, we moved on, but we're here for you. And
Mm-hmm.
stop being immature and saying, no, I want them for Christmas. No, you want to, no, I want to. You get what I mean? What you're doing is you're taking away from the child every aspect of the game. When you go and let's bring up child support. Child
Whew.
support, right?
Let's
I
talk
think
about
is the most idiot thing you can ever come up with. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but they hear me out, right? Child support. You go into court and you tell the courts, now mind you, okay, for those that don't know, you have to they're going to get their money from you.
it.
Okay, and
Period.
that's coming out of your child support, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you go in and say, hey, he need to pay.
Mm-hmm.
This is how much he need to pay, or this is how much she need to pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to think about it. If that person don't really have money, how can they pay that? You get what I'm saying? So then now they can't pay, right? So then they get their license taken away. Now they're getting their license taken away. They can't drive to work. You're not getting any money. You know what I mean? Then you're going to tell the person to figure it out. No, you're taking away their livelihood, whether they pay or not. You still have to
Exactly.
be a mother. You still have to be a father, whether
Yep.
they pay or not. Whether
Exactly.
they do or not, you still have to be there. So why are you spending so much of your energy chasing after a person to do? That's not your job, whether they do or they don't do. But guess what? If you're not going to do, I'm not going to push this child to call you. I'm not going to push
Mm-hmm.
this child to be around you, whether you
Mm-hmm.
do or not do. But that's not saying if I know, because everybody know who they slept with and who they was a partner with. If that nigga was a bum when you was dating him, when you're not dating him, he's still a bum.
He's
If
still
that
a
woman
bum.
was a bum when you was dating her, when you're not dating her, she's still a bum.
Still a bum.
So don't go and think that person is going to be rich because they flossing on social media. No,
No.
that's all they got in their pocket. Wherever they showing you, that's it. That's all they got. You know,
Mm-hmm.
don't think that oh, all of a sudden they rich. All of a sudden they no. They're the same people that you dated. They ain't changed.
Here's the
Whether
thing.
you
Mm.
no, go ahead.
Here's the funny part to me, right? You
Yeah,
really don't know a person until you have a kid by them.
true.
You really don't know what person you're dealing with until you guys create this life and they have to be responsible. And it's
Hmm.
unfortunate A woman don't want to take the man that she created life with to child support, but you're not
Mm-hmm.
showing me that you're willing to be there. You weren't there when the baby was born. You weren't there.
Right.
I'm calling you. You're ignoring my calls. Your mom, I got to deal with your mom and her attitude because she feels as though
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to do something to her child. When actually all I'm trying to get is support for this baby that you and I both create. So why should it only be on me? And God forbid if I take you down to child support, I'm the wrong person in the scenario. But like you said, you're flossing on social media, but yet and see I'm seeing you take care of her kids.
Mm-hmm. But
And
that
your
that
kids,
goes into accountability too,
and I understand that.
because
But at the same
imagine,
time,
but just imagine, right?
mm-hmm,
If I only come over 11, 10, 11, 12 at night and we
mm-hmm,
have sex,
mm-hmm,
yes, I'm being reckless, you're being reckless, right?
mm-hmm,
And then, oops, we got a baby. I only came over 10, 11, 12 at night. That
mm-hmm.
don't mean I want to be with you because we had sex.
Oh, I'm not
Doesn't
saying
mean I want to be with you because I told you I love you. If my actions don't show that I love you and I care for you and this and that and the third, we need to say, yo, I need to stop dealing with this person because a baby can come out of this situation.
mm. So now
You
you
get what I
want us to
mean?
use common sense.
Common
Common
sense.
sense ain't
It's
common,
common
my
sense for
brother.
the man. It's common sense for the woman. You
Mm-hmm,
can't sit up there and do adult stuff, just like I tell my kids. You can't do adult stuff and
mm-hmm,
expect that you want to go back and be a child, or you want to go back and be a single man. Like I tell women, and I tell men, how long you been single? And they tell me, oh, I've been single for 5 years. I said, when the last time you have sex? Oh, I just had sex last week. So you've been single for a week. Because if you fucking, because single means one, meaning that you ain't entertained nobody. You
right,
get what I'm saying?
right.
If you out there fucking, that's not being single. That's being that you're entertaining people. And then entertaining people, it creates a baby. So then you can't get
Mm-hmm,
mad because all y'all was doing was fucking. You get what
mm-hmm,
I mean? Or you can't get mad because you know this nigga ain't shit, shit ain't adding up, or this woman ain't shit, shit ain't adding up, but yet you want to continue pursuing, and then boom, you get pregnant, they disappear. Why? Because they didn't see you as a full-time partner.
come on.
And if they don't see you as a full-time partner, they don't want a baby by you.
Mm-hmm,
You get what I'm saying? So pay
mm-hmm.
attention to people's actions. If they
Got to.
sitting up there and if they come up with excuses on Valentine's Day, even though I don't celebrate Valentine's Day, but if they coming up with excuses on Valentine's Day, well, yeah, get you a gift, or they'll say I don't celebrate it, but they'll get you a gift, nigga. That's kind of celebration, you know. That they prioritizing someone else. If you go in on your birthday and you let's matter of fact, I heard a story where a woman would drive 4 hours to another state in another city to see a man. This man would go spend 2 hours with her, then leave. She's in a hotel. And I'm like, you don't y'all wasn't dating. That dude come to you, have sex with you, and then go back to the woman that he's staying
Basically,
with.
that's
I'm
basically.
like, these are common sense. You drove 4 hours for nothing, and you did it multiple times. I think you should have stopped the first time. Because
Sex is a
imagine if you
powerful
got
thing,
pregnant.
though. Sex is
Listen,
a sex is a mother. It's a
listen,
powerful thing. It will get you to do stuff that you really don't think is
listen,
common sense in it.
listen.
Just saying.
I understand that because I used to give these chickens so this grade A penis. You know what I'm saying? And I had to look at them eggs and I said, whoa, you acting crazy. Grade A penis give you
Oh,
this,
excuse
just
me.
like grade A chochina. That's a new name, chochina. Grade
Oh,
A
good.
chochina will have that man in your bushes. Stop giving grade A chochina to grade D people.
No,
Stop
first of
giving grade.
all, let me. I want to be the advocate. Stay the
Yeah.
heck at the back of this pussy, then. Stay from back there. If you stay from back there, you won't get crazy. You won't get all
But
the
then,
emotions. Stop trying to get all deep and dig in and trying to be that dundada and just have regular sex. That way, if you have not made up in your mind that I'm the one you want to be with, stop trying to put it on me because you're a
mm,
performer. See, now you're trying to show out. Now you're all touching in the back of my shit and you think I'm supposed to be okay with that. I'm not
hmm
okay with that because I'm going
but
to
now
be a
you expect
promotions. You
people to
want to
be
know why?
accountable.
because you're touching something nobody has touched before, and it's
Mm-hmm.
provoking feelings in me. So now you're
Mm.
treating me like that meme say, why you acting funny to me, Stink? Like, what's up? You
Oh,
have me all.
so this is what men should do. Okay, I got it. So I'm gonna be the devil's advocate to your devil's advocate. Okay, the men should go ahead and give you that grade A penis. You know what I'm saying? Be in the back of your walls, trip you out, and then they should give you a card to a psychiatrist ward and say, "Here you go, a free
Oh,
trip.
you thought
This is
that
a
was
free
funny.
vacation.
You
This
thought
is
that
a
was
free.
funny. You
This
thought
is
that
a
was cute
free.
in your little
You
life.
get it. You get a
You
free
thought that was
vacation.
cute.
All right,
Nah,
you get your free
nah.
vacation. Here you go. You can
Men
stay
need
there
it
for a
too.
week. You
Men
can
need it
check
too.
yourself in.
Men
I don't know
need
if
it
you're gonna
too.
check yourself out
Because
though.
truth be told, if men is eating you out and have an oral with you, anybody that's on that spiritual stuff like I am knows that that will cause a man to go A1 nut crazy. And
First of
here comes
all,
the jealousy
that's
modes.
that's
Here
a
comes the little
lie.
attitudes. Now you
That's a
checking my
lie. There's
phone.
men out here
Now I
eating
look up,
eating
you
stripper
popping up and
booties.
you're at the place I was at. Now you going through my clothes. You looking at my underwear. Weird shit. So
But hold up,
it's a two
hold up,
double edged
hold
sword.
up. I think that's a lie because there's men out here eating stripper booties. Okay, they don't care what they eat. They eating people booty bootios like Cheerios. I'm just saying. Okay, they
You
don't
got
care.
a fetish for
They just
butt. I don't know what
they
it
just
is. I don't know
they
what
like
it
Batman.
is. I
They
don't
like
even want to
Batman
figure it
going after
out.
everything.
What is going on?
they
Why
like
everything is
they
in the booty? I just don't
but
get
I'm
it.
just saying though, you saying that men out here going to get hooked? No,
Oh
look, their
yes,
quality is down.
absolutely.
I'm just gonna be honest, like their quality is down. Like they in need when they are not in need. They just want it. They're just stingy. So when they go and then when they get pregnant, then they like, oh, I didn't want that. But I'm like, hey, did you ever use a condom? Well, no. Well, a baby pops out of there. It takes you and takes them and bow. I'm just
Especially
saying.
when you don't want a baby. That's when the baby is here.
You're like, oh,
Especially when you don't want the
uh,
baby. Baby
wait a
get you.
minute. Did I know that you? All right, so back on topic because we got way off. All right, so what do you think about when you're trying to co-parent with someone? You're actually living in the house with someone, whether it's your child or you are being someone's step parent, and then
Mm-hmm,
like every time that you're trying to be a father or a mother, the other parent, whether it's your child or not, will
mm-hmm.
try to intervene. How do you feel about that?
Well, see, that displays our relationship. So therefore, if you're doing it when it comes to co-parenting, you're also doing it in
Mhm.
other areas of our life. So therefore,
Right.
there's a conversation. And if you're not hearing me in conversation, then there's going to be an issue. A house that
Hmm.
can't stand together is divided. That means we can't
Hmm.
stand together. So in that situation, me personally, I would withdraw.
Right.
Because if I'm not able to discipline your child that's under our roof, you know what I mean? I'm doing majority
Right.
of the work. I'm there with that baby. See what I'm saying? Because the mother's not around. So it's me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So therefore, if it gets to the point that I cannot discipline them at that point before we got married, we should have had
Right.
this discussion. So how do
Hmm.
you feel about discipline? Because I'm not, I have low tolerance.
Right.
This is where I'm
Because
at. I believe in discipline. And if you're the type of parent that does not believe in discipline, I think that should be
hmm
discussed. Now,
right.
if we're in the heat of the moment and you're showing me, first of all, nothing should be done in front of the kids. If you disagree with me, it should be behind a closed door because that
Right.
gives kids power. Kids are little manipulators. They play on certain stuff. So
Right.
therefore, we should always be a united front. So that should be something that should be behind closed doors. But at the same time, though, if I'm saying that okay, little Becky is out of pocket, and I'm coming down with and you looking at me like, don't you talk to my kid that way? At that moment,
Hmm.
you are absolutely right. I pull back. So therefore,
Hmm.
anything and everything that I have done for Becky, I'm pulling back because I'm not able to discipline the baby. But you want me to
Right.
do everything else for the baby. And that
Hmm.
right there is causing confusion. And nothing can
True.
come out of that confusion, nothing profits. So I will leave the parenting to you. If there's an
And then
issue,
that
do it, have a
divides
family
it.
meeting.
Right. Then that divides a home. What a lot of people don't understand is how you react towards things.
Right.
It will always stop at future actions. Right. So when you sitting up here and you or your partner is undermining you, as a parent, because
Mhm.
when you go on, like, you know me, I don't use the word step. I don't use the word stepfather.
I don't
I'm
believe
your
in that
father.
either. Mhm.
I'm just father number two, or you're mother number two, whatever it is.
Mama
You
Dukes.
know, so
I believe that.
right. So at the end of the day, it's
Mhm.
like, yo, if you undermined me, then it's like, and this is just in my opinion, I'm just like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I won't say shit. Oh, you need a ride? Go ask your mama. You get what
Big
I'm saying? Oh, you need this? Go ask your mama. And then they looking at you like, oh, then fuck it, don't do nothing for my child. I'm not, because why? If I can't, if you're picking and choosing where I can be a parent, that's a problem for me. When you
absolutely.
sitting up there, if you got a problem with me, don't go and say, hey, in a room, please. Nah, don't do that. You wait
Exactly.
until it can be later on that night. It can be like, hey, I didn't agree with what you did. And then explain why you didn't agree. Right?
Especially if
And
you think
whether
it's
you agree,
excessive.
right. So a lot of
Mhm.
people like that control. You're not going to talk to my child this way. Oh, then if it's your child, then why are we doing this? You get
We're
what
in
I'm
it
saying?
together then.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
So
not in it
then
together.
you start, even when even when y'all both birth that child. Because I've been through
Right.
that situation. I've been through
Mhm.
that situation where, you know, my kid's mother was like, he loved me more. I'm like, who the fuck? Like, who says that? Like,
Why is it a
who?
competition?
It's a baby. It's a baby. How you gonna love you more? Like, get out. He came out of my womb. I understand it. He came out of my dick. Like shit. I'm like, well, you don't know what it is to give birth. I give birth every day I jerk off. Okay, that's thousands to your one. Okay, that your thousands to your one or two. Okay, I'm just saying. But my thing about it is, on a serious note, it's like it doesn't matter. I understand what you go through when you give birth, but guess what? While you're going through that, while you're getting birth, I gotta go through you. I gotta go through your bullshit and everything you toss at me while you're getting birth. So I'm going through it too.
I don't like,
Respect me. Hmm?
and I think that conversation is problematic within itself because now you're displaying what's in you. You know what I mean?
Right,
This is not a competition. Do you feel some type of way because you see that the child is fond of me? Because I go out my way to have a bond with the child. And at the
right.
end of the day, why would a woman even utter that if your heart ain't right? Like I don't care about that child loving you more because at the end of the day, they're gonna need me just as much as they need you. You see what I'm
But it's
saying?
just not women doing it too. It's men doing it too. It's like they
I,
wanna. That's my son. My son could talk. There's men out here. I'm not gonna say. Sometimes it's in our community. We got some weird shit going on too, where
that's
they have the boys disrespecting the mother, and I'm like,
absolutely,
what is your problem? You know what I
absolutely
mean?
because
That's
they're
not
hurt
what real men does.
at all.
You,
At
you know what
all.
I'm saying?
And
So
the sad
it's a
part about it is you're the first introduction to a man
right,
to that child. So why are
right.
you implementing those things into a child's head
Hmm.
to display that
Because
to their mother? And
it's
the mother is all
control.
because at the end of the day, when nobody is there, what's that saying? Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. At the end of
Hmm.
the day, if you need something, then mom is going to be the one to save the day. Dad's coming, but mom's
Yep.
there. But
Right.
you have caused that discord between me and my child. So how is that
Right.
profiting the child?
True.
Doesn't make sense.
It's not, because a lot of people don't think about, we're how much we're instilling in this child. The moment, even before the breakup start, it's about me. It's about me. And when it comes to a man, it's about me. When it comes to the woman, it's about me. The
Mhm.
breakup or the divorce start, it's about me. Look how many people get divorced and don't even say, what is it going to do to my child? It's always about you. You get what I'm saying? Look
Exactly.
how many. Well, look how many people sit over there and cheat and don't think about what it's going to do to their child. Look how many people that take out of their home and give it to somebody else's home, and they don't think about what it's doing to their child. Like, dude,
At
your
all.
children should always come first, whether it's a male or a female or a woman or a man, whoever, whatever you accept. You should always think about your children.
Mhm.
Period. Even let's move it to a poly situation, right?
Okay.
Poly. So some people in poly situations goes, all right, we only got the man connected. You get what I mean? Or we only got the woman connected, or whatever, however you want to do it. and they be like, well, this is my children. How you going to be in the same household or be in a relationship with people that's connected and say my children? This should always be our children as a whole. You get what I'm saying? Yo, it takes
Absolutely.
a village. We're taking care of these children all together. If you can't do it, I got you. If I can't do it, they got you. You get what I'm saying? It should never be these are my children. I'm just used to raising my child or my children by myself. But then
So why did you
eventually
enter
you're going
into
to
a
be by
poly?
yourself.
Because
Hmm?
why did you enter a poly
Or a
situation? First,
relationship.
I
Any
mean, you got
relationship. If you
multiple
thinking,
parents here, so you got
right,
to
if you
explain to your
thinking at any
kid.
point, if
Mm,
you thinking at any point that you are a single parent, I don't care any type of relationship. If you got that mindset, stay by yourself. Stay a single parent. But the moment you switch over and you become in a relationship or a marriage, you're no longer a single parent. So get that single parent mentality out of yourself, whether you're in a monogamous relationship, definitely in a polyamorous relationship. Because guess what? That's a lot of energy. That's a
it
lot
is.
of people.
It
It
is.
doesn't matter if you have one extra person or not, but all that energy will break you if you doesn't do it right. Hell, it break people in a monogamous relationship.
It does.
So,
And I'm gonna play it. So now I'm gonna play the devil's advocate when it comes to a single mother entering into a poly situation. My train of
mhm.
thought is it have always been us, and and I don't know where you're coming from when you're disciplining my kid. So what I'm saying, if it's from a true genuine place in your heart, or are you being spiteful? So
Then,
at that point, that's a conversation. Then you know what I mean.
but it, but that's the problem. It should have been a conversation before, right?
Sometimes you don't
And then,
know
but
because
hold
women.
on, but hold on. It should have been a conversation before, and then after you had the conversation, right? You should
Mhm,
watch how they discipline their children.
mhm,
You should watch how they talk to other children. These are
mhm,
things that you pay attention to when you're courting someone,
mhm,
right? Pay attention to everything they do and don't do. Because
mhm,
me, if I look at if I'm dating a woman, right? I look at all the things that she don't do, right? Without
mhm.
being told. So if we're out to dinner and I pay for the bill and she don't know, I pay for the bill, boom, boom, boom. Cool, cool, cool. I'm waiting to see if she's a helpmate to pay a tip, just so I can
But
say no, I got it. You get what I'm
exactly,
saying? But if
exactly.
she don't give me that helpmate, I'll be like, cool, that was the last dinner I got, and she'll be like, what did I do wrong? You're not a helpmate because it should flash in your mind to help because you ate just like I ate. You get what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't be in a position where you're like, you supposed to do all this. You supposed to do this. Nah, we help each other. And if you're
That's
not in it to help each other, right? Then I don't need you here because I don't need if I'm just gonna say this to anybody. If you're in any position where you're in a relationship, okay, whether you're monogamous or poly or married or whatever, and your relationship it mirrors. It
hmm
mirrors exactly you
hmm
being single.
hmm
Nigga, you being single.
exactly.
If
But
everything that you're doing is like you doing like you would do when you're single and nothing changed, why do you have that person there?
it mm, here's the thing too. I'm just gonna be honest. Like we are so like, and you always say this. Us as ebony royal people, we are traumatized, right? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
women have had trauma from the relationships they have had and and have produced children. So when you have a man like you and you're sitting at the dinner table, your thought is not, I'm gonna pay the tip. Because most likely in this situation, we paid for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So when we have somebody that got it, we like get it. You know what I mean? And once again, I'm playing the devil's advocate. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like finally to have somebody that got the bill. I'm not even thinking about the tip. And I'm not trying to, it doesn't mean that my heart is not right. I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
in awe. Well, look at this motherfucker. What the fuck? I'm not used to that. But on the flip side of that, if somebody really knows you. And so therefore, it wouldn't have been a thing. Oh, babe, you paid. I'm about to cash up you the tip. Because I know you pay
And
for
I'll
everything.
be my thing
I
about it
got you.
is I always tell people a man the option to say no. I got it. Give a man the option to say, just like when a woman goes and be like, they be like, yo, I cook, and the man says, nah, I cook, babe. What do a woman do? Oh
What
my
the fuck? No,
God! You get
give
what
me
I'm
a
saying?
wine glass.
Give her,
Where's my
yeah,
wine?
exactly.
Yeah,
But that should be your whole relationship. It
yeah.
should be you want to outlove him, he want to outlove you.
Every
If you're in a
day.
poly situation, y'all all should want to outlove each other, whether you're intimate or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people want to do, like when they
Not,
think of poly, they think of, oh, threesome, foursome, fifth.
no,
No, no,
not
it's
here,
you
boo. Not,
working in a
not
uniset.
completely
I
different.
got you. I
Right.
got you. Dude, why struggle?
Why
Why
struggle?
why have the kids grow up with one parent? Like that's not normal. Do you get what
It's
I'm saying? But then they're
not
frowned
healthy.
upon the child having multiple parents. And I'm
That's true.
like, yo, I got to stay at work. They got to stay at work. Somebody else can go get them. Cool. You get what I'm saying? But people don't think about this. We like to sit up here and frown upon people that's doing something beneficial that's outside of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
When
Mm-hmm.
when you see a divorced couple together going on, they're not even going on a date, they just having dinner together with the child. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Why are you doing that? Are you going to invite him back in, or you going to invite her back in? Say no, we're having dinner with our child. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Because they don't see, they wouldn't do that because they like eating alone. They don't even eat at the table with their children. They eat on the couch while they watch TV while their kids eat in their bedrooms. And it's like, dude, when are y'all spending time together? When is it family time? When is it time that you actually getting to know each other? Think
That
about it.
that's that was killed when we had to go into survivor mode. I
Yeah.
kudos to the women that actually still do that because it's women that still
Man,
do it.
listen.
Don't get me wrong, but it's some
Yeah.
of us that's be so overwhelmed with life and so overwhelmed with trying to make ends meet.
They just be spend
Family
their time
time,
on Facebook. Facebook and social media becomes their life, and they be like, I'll be like,
real,
dude,
real talk
look
though.
at you.
That's their outlet. Real
Look,
talk. Yes.
but it's not. But is it helping? My
No.
thing about it is find outlets that help you. So
Mm-hmm.
go to the gym. Find something that your
Constructive.
child likes to do or children likes to do. Do what I do. Hell, I do FFF, right? Forced Family Fun. Whether you like it or not, we're doing it.
Doing
And guess
yes.
what? There's no problem because we sit over there and play card games together. This is how you get to know your children. We
That's
have discussions on
mm-hmm.
Saturdays. You get what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And we discuss for an hour. Hey, what are you into? What are you this? Because there's a lot of people that their children live with them and they don't
Mm-hmm.
even know their children.
That's
You
true.
thinking your child a virgin, your child out here popping in. Everybody in the streets know your child
Pop
is a
locked and
thotty body.
dropping.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
that's my worst fear. And
Yeah.
what? I am appalled. What? My daughter did what? My son
When I
did what?
That's true. When I
No.
found out about my daughter, I cried. And I
Yeah.
told her, you cannot get that back.
No.
You can't get
At
it back.
all.
So
At
that's when it
all.
started that whole conversation of you have a diamond. When you go in a jewelry store, are you able to touch the diamonds? She said
No.
no. I said exactly. I said, do you see all women walking around with diamonds on their hands? She said no. Right, because only the ones that can afford it can wear it. I said that's
Mm-hmm.
how your jewel is. It's precious. Only to
And
you.
giving it away for free.
Gave it
Giving it
away.
away.
Baby.
Giving it away because
Slow it
someone
down.
said they like you. And then after they have it, then you realize they don't.
Well,
And
actually,
it's
no, he was like in love with her. He literally
oh,
was like,
I don't
yeah,
care.
that was a whole totally
He
different
need to be
situation.
jacked in his face. He
It
be
was a
like,
whole
well,
totally
I love
different,
your bam. You don't love nothing, buddy.
but
I'm a
right,
father. Hmm.
but all
I'm a
that to
daddy's
say,
daddy. No
right,
one's
right.
better. No one's great for my daughter.
Oh God. But it brings you back to what you were saying, far as like the co-parenting and having family time. I think even
Yeah.
in a poly situation, like you have to be creative. And you're creative because you need the other kids to know that just because these are my kids, I love you just like I love my kids. So I'm gonna take time out with you. Okay, I'm taking the kids out. Now mind you, I'm in a household with no kids. All my kids are grown.
Mm.
So therefore, I would have to make my way to do things with the children and let them know, even though I'm not your biological mom, but I got you as if you were mine. And we're gonna
Right.
do things together. I'm gonna be that one because she's not gonna have time like that because she's gonna be at work. You're gonna be at work. Who's here? I work from home. So it's
Right.
my effort to do things with you. I'm that type of person. We're gonna be in the kitchen making pizza out of bagels, but we're having conversation though. So tell
Right.
me what it is going, but never to the
Or you
point where
teaching
you're
them
trying
how
to
to
take
cook. You're teaching them how to make pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like,
better
do you
yet.
realize how many teenagers and kids that don't know how to cook? But back
Yes,
when we was younger, our
yes.
parents said, "Yo, you 7 years old, get in there and cook. Let's go." We knew how to fry chicken and everything.
Grandmother. The
Yeah.
grandmother showed you how to prep food, bro.
Mm.
You learned. Grandma did not play that. If I'm
Right.
cooking, you're cooking. Put the apron on. Let's talk about the apron. Big
Well.
mama with the aprons on. I had an apron. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm prepping food as she's telling me how to fry catfish.
Right.
Like those things that, but not at that same time, it's therapeutic. So therefore, we could talk about your day as we're making these pizzas. See what I'm saying?
That's true.
What is it that what kind of car do you see yourself driving in when you get grown? Oh, I want this. I say, okay, that's an expensive car. So what you
What you
plan on
gonna do
do
to
to
get it?
finance that car? See, that's
Right.
I
It's
have
not,
always the
and we
kids like,
gotta. Right. And like when I talk to my kids, I talk to them in sections. Right. I do the same thing that you just did. I'll sit up there and say, what kind of car you want, right? And they would tell me what kind of car they want. And I say, okay. And I will tell them it's not about buying or purchasing the car because you can have the money to purchase the vehicle, right? But the first you got to find a way to get the money to purchase the vehicle.
come on.
Now, once you found a way to get the money to purchase the vehicle, now the most bang of your money, you need to have something to keep the maintenance of the vehicle because you
Mm-hmm.
can buy anything. If you can't upkeep it, you're going to lose it. And that purchase was for nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? So instead of getting you a setback, say, hey, if you can't afford the purchase and the maintenance, the consistent maintenance of this vehicle or of this house, do not buy it. Because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, you're buying it for other people. Other people is not paying that bill. You get
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Just like if you want to sit up there and get your kids clothes and this because you didn't have it, guess what? Why are you buying your children 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 freaking shoes, like 5 pairs of shoes at one time? Why? Why are you buying them three? You know they're growing. So
Mm-hmm.
you basically they're gonna have one favorite pair, and that's all they're gonna wear. And then you just wasted your money on the other two pairs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? We need to get out of that mindset and then get playing that we ain't got no money. You ain't got no money because you're just throwing it out the window because you are looking at your children as if they was you as a child, and they're not.
Which,
They're your children.
but at the same time, though, on the flip side of that, you always want to do better than your parents, right? So going back to what we were saying was like you have to build activities that causes this open conversation with your children, and just not only that, just to tap into where they at mentally, because kids are cruel in school.
True.
They go through a lot in school. So
Hmm.
my question to you, because we're about to enter into a dynamic where most likely children aren't going to be there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So how, what advice would you give somebody who's coming into the household but still protective over their children? And even though you discussed it, but I think we need repetitive is so important. You
Right.
enter into a poly situation, you got people that's showing you that they love you, and in order to love you, I got to love your children, and that's vice versa for you as well. You have
Right.
children, right? That's in your
Hmm.
household. So therefore, what is the advice would you give somebody when they still kind of comprehensive on um, exposing their kids to other people? Well, you want a poly relationship, or do you just want somebody that's going to help you from your circumstances? Because to
But I
enter
think that's I
poly,
think that's poly and monogamous because there's some people that's getting in monogamous relationships as well that they're apprehensive of meeting people,
mhm,
right? Letting the people meet their children. You know, I dated a woman before, and she told me, because I had my son by myself, and it was like, yo, she said, no, it's all right. I'll meet your child, but you can't meet my children until I'm ready. I said, no, it's not. We either going to do it at the same time, or we're going to be like whatever. But what it was is it let me know that they didn't care about my standard. It was all about their standard. So what I would tell them is, I would say, whether the situation is good for you or
Mm-hmm.
not. And for those that says, I don't know, you don't never know people. I said, even while he or she is smiling in your face, your gut feeling would say something is off. And if
Yes.
something is off, stop going to see what is off. Start being like, I don't know what's off about this person, but I'm gonna wash my hands. You get what
Exactly.
I mean? We
Exactly.
as people are curious people. We're
Mm-hmm.
curious, and we want to find out what is off, and then get mad at you. Like, no, the guy is showing you. He's saying, hey, the moment he goes and say, I want to take you out to dinner. But then he goes and he told you he got a car. Now it's cool if he say I ain't got no vehicle and you driving. That's cool because he's honest and saying I ain't got a car. But if you, oh, I got a car. Oh, it broke down. Let's take you. So then you go to you go to dinner. You driving them to dinner or whatever. For one, the dude is he ain't open up the door, offer to drive, and say just sit back, I'll drive you. Right? He didn't offer to drive or nothing. Then he don't open your door. Then if you pumping gas, he don't get out to pump the gas. He's watching you or being on his phone. Like these are all signs to say, let that nigga go. You get what I'm saying? Then when y'all get to dinner, y'all eating and whatever. This is how you can tell. He looking at the menu like, ooh, these prices. Don't let him go to high end where there ain't no prices because he gonna be like, well, how much this costs? How much that costs? Because they ain't got no prices on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
So then when the bill come, oh, I forgot my wallet. You knew you didn't have your wallet the whole time. I said,
Mm-hmm.
dude, you always check for your wallet before you go anywhere. My thing about it is if the man or woman would lie to you,
Mm-hmm.
okay, about small things, they will lie to you about bigger things. And
Talk
not to
about it.
mention
Mm-hmm.
is they're lying. If they're lying about small things, there's a big lie that they didn't tell you. A
Right.
huge lie that's going to mess up your life. And these are
Mess up
things
the
I'm
whole
telling you.
thing.
Your whole life, you're going to be like, what happened? You get what I mean?
Hey,
So
bro.
if you're going into a situation and your gut feeling tell you not to, don't do it.
Exactly.
But if you're going into a situation where, so a lot of people are not like me because this is how I go through a situation. If I'm entertaining you, I say, okay, you have three small children. Or if
Mm-hmm.
they small or not, they can be teenagers, they can be adults. I'll be like, your children are my children.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, well, you don't even know me. I'm like, dude, but I'm entertaining you to be with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means I'm fully accepting
Invested.
everything that comes with you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a grandchild? Well, Gail, I'm going to be a grandfather instantly. You get what I'm saying? So these are things
Papa. Mm-hmm.
these are things that you have to pay attention to because the moment where I laugh at every time that somebody say, hey, you go into a relationship and they be like, well, do you want more children? I'll be like, do you have kids? And they be like, yeah. So why you asking me that stupid question? Because either way I want to have children, right? Whether
Right.
you have it or I'm accepting yours is new children. That's new children. These children that you have, they just gonna be above age. They're not gonna you're not gonna birth them. You already had them. You get what I mean? So that's me accepting your child as mine instead of being like, no, I don't want no more kids. Because the moment someone's saying I don't want no more kids, right? 9 out of 10, they don't want your children either.
They don't.
They just want you,
They just
whether
want you.
you a
Not
male
really
or a
even.
female.
Not really
Seriously,
even.
do you
Like,
do you know how many women that I dated that I had to get rid of because they didn't acknowledge my child?
are you serious?
It was all about their children, and I was like, nah, this ain't cool. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's hard for you to accept my child as not even yours. Just accept that it's my child,
He comes with
right?
you. Exactly.
Right. But then you want me to play daddy to your kids, but you don't want to even accept my or acknowledge my child. When your kids are around, that's you doing all this stuff, right? Like me, this is what I'm doing. If I go and I'm taking my son out, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
your kids are there, I'm taking your children out too, because to
Most,
me, they're
yeah,
my children.
exactly.
When we go get ice cream or whatever, everybody get the same value.
Exactly.
My child is not going to get better than your children. They're going to get the same value because they're on the same page,
And it got
right?
to be clear. If we're in
It
public and
has to
your
be.
kid cuts up, I'm going to
Yeah,
snatch your kid like I would snatch mine. It doesn't mean
exactly.
I don't hate them or I don't love them less than mine,
Mm-hmm.
but they're going
I'd
to
be
get
like,
snatched.
mm-hmm.
Please
Or,
do that.
or, or if you dumb it down and say, well, my kids know if we go to the grocery store, don't ask me for nothing. Let me offer. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? People will be like, "Now, why would you take them to the store and you know they're gonna want nothing?" I didn't take them to the store to buy them nothing. I took them to the store. Let me offer and say, "Hey, do y'all want something?" Don't let your dad go and pick up something and throw it in my buggy. I'm like, "What you doing?" "Oh, I wanted that. You pay? You got money?" "Oh, no." So who gonna pay for that? You gonna tell me I'm paying for something for you? Hell nah. Take that shit back. Let me offer.
We don't do this
Let
here.
me
We
say,
don't do
hey,
that
I
here.
got you.
We don't do that
So
here.
right, as a man, it's my job to train boys and women respect, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
not a woman's job. A woman's job is not to train your child respect. It's the man's job. It's a woman's job to train and teach your children how to nurture, how to be considerate, how to be consistent. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's a
Mm-hmm.
woman's job. A man's job is to teach them respect, how to sit up here and be given to your family, right? And
Mm-hmm.
not be about yourself. So we all have different placements. Nowadays, everybody don't know their place, everybody. And I'm not saying that a woman's place is in the kitchen. I'm not saying a man's place is in a job somewhere working overtime. What I'm saying is y'all don't even know a place that y'all in. Y'all don't even
Right.
know what your job is. Y'all just saying, you know what? Matter of fact, y'all playing house. Y'all niggas playing house. You remember playing house and then y'all doing jive humping with clothes on? That's what y'all doing. Because at the end of the day, y'all sitting up here and y'all getting in these relationships and these marriages, whether it's poly
Microwave.
monogamous or not, y'all have no goals. Y'all afraid of each other, right? And y'all wouldn't even do your own account together. How you gonna be with someone and y'all got bills together and you don't have an account together? Oh no, they might steal the money. If they might steal your money, leave that relationship. If that's how you feel, leave that relationship.
Flat
If
out.
you can't trust them, leave that relationship. Why
Flat
in
out.
the hell are y'all spending so much time together and you saying, hey, we can't even open up a simple ass account together because I think that you're going to steal from that account? Or you sitting up here and say, hey, let's sit down each year. Let's sit down every few months, create goals for the month. Let's goals for our family,
Mm.
financial goals,
Mm-hmm.
mental goals, moral goals. You get what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, we need to stop, especially in our culture, stop just fucking to be fucking. We need to stop just wanting to be with people just to be with them. And you're not building anything. Y'all was together 4 or 5 years, and it looks like y'all in year one. Like, yo, what are y'all doing? What are you building? Where y'all coming to and saying, hey, listen, I just read up on $10,000 or $5,000 on tax terms. So this is what we can do, right? What you think about this? We sit up here and put 4,000 in crypto, and we keep 1,000 for spending money. No, y'all don't do that because guess what? Your taxes is your taxes, his taxes is his taxes, and y'all arguing about who gonna claim what child. Y'all ain't doing nothing. And
Craziness.
then y'all gonna be broke in a month.
Craziness.
At the
Craziness.
end, same thing with a poly family, right? Poly family. I'll break it down for you. Poly family, right? Let's go. We're going to talk about triads. You have a triad. Let's say if we broke down a triad to making $20,000 a year. That's whew, you ain't making nothing. But each person making $20,000 a year. That is $60,000, right? You take away taxes. I would say if we do taxes, boom. Let's say 30. Y'all have an income of $30,000 in your house. Then you take away, you say $20,000 for gas, food, and all the other bull crap, right? So then you have $10,000 left over. Why aren't y'all saving that $10,000?
Mm-mm.
Do you get what I'm saying? Why are
Yeah.
y'all broke?
Yeah.
Why are y'all broke?
Yeah.
And then it goes up. If it's a quad relationship, that is $20,000 left over. Why are y'all broke?
Why you wrote?
If it's a quartet, that means 5 people. You know what I mean? That's $30,000 or more. Why are y'all broke? Yeah, everybody want that. Oh, I want a poly because you want to have sex.
That's
Then you
it.
want to sit up here and be like, oh, well, I take trips. That's cool. I love people that takes trips, but guess what? Everything have to be planned. You can't just
Exactly.
go on 50 daggone trips a year, and guess what? You just working to go on trips. That's it. And then when you come back, you're broke and miserable. Like, come on, dude. Where are y'all saving for the greater good to say, yo, this is my end game? You going on all these trips, but you living in an apartment. And
Oh my
you
God.
paying
That
finance on a car, but you going on all these trips. You know what I'm
man.
saying? You got
Yeah.
this big 75-inch flat screen TV in your crib, right? But you can't keep your lights on. These priorities is all messed up.
But
You
I
know what
think
I'm saying?
but not only that, being in several poly groups, I noticed too that nobody is sitting down and explaining how the finances is going to be broke down, or if there's going to be a general account. Um, okay, well, you make 30,000 a year, you make 38,000, you're making 60,000. So this is what I don't hear how that dynamic works. I don't hear the breakdown of it financially, and to me, it's like because I'm on the old school part of it because in a poly
Mm,
situation, it was about securing financially the family, right? Gaining titles, right? Protection
mm,
for your family. Old
right.
school thought of poly. So when I'm coming into this new spot and I'm looking at all these handsome men and beautiful women, and it's like they're all stuck in the same train of thought, right? But
Yeah, they
nobody's talking about
slaves.
the financial aspect of this. Nobody's talking about the security of it. Like you said, how we in a poly relationship at 5 years and we still living in the same place.
But if you think about it, right, they all have the slave mentality. Do
Mm,
you know what the slave mentality is?
what's that?
We don't worry about the bills. We just worry about fucking and doing the work.
Mm.
And if you disagree, think about it. Look at your life. You don't worry about coming up and being secure and starting your own business because that's too much work. You
Oh,
don't
keeping
worry
each other's
about
credit, paying
right.
off the
You don't
loans,
worry
being on
about
your
fixing
credit.
each other's credit. You don't worry about things that's going to be structured to
Mm-hmm.
you. You worry about going to your 9 to 5, come back home, saying, leave me alone, watch TV. And then
Shut the
9 out of 10, you watching shows that it doesn't put back into your mental, not to mention your life, because you're watching shows that's what? That image your personality. And what's your personality? You want to sit over there and watch all the negative shows, all the, Real Housewives of Atlanta or Love and Hip Hop. All those shows is the same show. It's the
garbage,
same show with different people. It's garbage. It's garbage.
garbage.
It's not just like I tell my kids. Stop watching things and being a part of stuff that's not putting back into you.
It's not
Because
edifying you.
if it's not helping you, right? Why are you doing it? It's taken away. It's not just sitting there. What it does is something either helps you or it takes away from you, right?
Edifying.
Because if you look at everybody that watch those type of shows, right? Think about it. They act just like the people on those shows.
It gives
And
a
they will say, no,
false
I don't.
narrative.
Yeah. But the false narrative turns into reality. Once you get enough people paying attention and look, hell, early 2000, look at the music, right? And they started dressing like the kids do now. And we was like, what the hell is this garbage? And guess what? It's reality now. Why?
It
Because
is.
they attacked your children.
Mm.
Do you get what I'm saying? And it becomes reality. They attack the mindsets of the people. And even though adults have the mindset of this is not real, children look at this as that's life.
That's real. That's because that's all
And
they
these
see.
are things, Right. This is they, but the only reason why they see it is because the parents allow them to see it and
I
listen
agree.
to it.
I agree.
They're like, yo, I have teenage kids that I sit up there and be like, yo, don't listen to that. Why you listen to cursors? What you listen to cursing? What you gonna get out of cursing? Oh, my bad, dad. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you don't listen to that. That's garbage. Listen to something that's gonna whoop. This is music. There you go.
Hmm.
Boom, boom, boom. Oldies. What?
Hmm.
Well, he talking about cheating, but he talking about cheating in a mellow way. Don't you see that? Dude, is he sitting up there? Is he sitting up there?
No, that
And you
music
know what
birthed
I
cat daddies. That's
mean?
what happened.
Yes,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
You know what I
It
mean?
was
He
some
put you in the
pimp
mood. You can have sex to
cat
this cheating
daddy stuff.
song right here. You can't have
Right.
sex to that. I'm gonna shoot a person. Like who you gonna get, a ratchet chick? I said any woman that's with you listening to that movie and then want to have sex, you better get rid of her. Are you causing your own headache?
Have you
But I'm
ever
just
sat back and listened to the music in our time? Well, my
yeah,
time, and the music that we got now. The
of course.
whole streamline of music is a totally different genre, and it's sad to the point of because our parents thought we was corrupted by what we was listening. No,
Because
actually,
of
that
what
music
they're
helped
listening to.
us. This music
No,
now,
no. Think about it. Think about this, right? If you think about our parents' music, it's still around and going strong today. I don't care. I always argue with this, right? Yes, we listen to 90s music. We listen to 80s music. We do. But the most music that we listen to, that we vibe with, that we'll sit up there and ask Alexa to play is 70s and 60s music. We always ask for that music. But we'll sit up there every now and then and listen to 90s music and 80s music, right? We even do early 2000s sometimes. But the more that it goes on, we don't listen to that crap. Tell me, everybody say, I see Drake last a long time. Tell me what Drake song that people say play when Drake came out. None. But it was popular. Why? Because why? You heard it so many times that you said, okay, I can listen to it.
mm,
That's called brainwashing.
yeah,
That's
I
all
don't,
it is. It's called brainwashing.
and
Stop
it's at its
listening to these
worst.
radio shows that's playing the garbage music on repeat because that's brainwashing. So what happens is when you have your children listening to these music and singing these songs that they don't even know that they're saying, but guess what? It becomes their personality,
Yeah.
and we don't pay attention to it, and
So,
we have to pay attention to that. Go ahead.
so my question to you again, because we're gonna
Hmm.
pull it in.
Yep. Rewind. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so my thing is, so now that you have the children in their home, now
Hmm.
you have this mother that's worried about her children in a dynamic with us, and I'm
Right.
saying us meaning other females
Hmm.
and you in the household, and then you're securing her like, look, this is how this is going. What if that does not work? What if it's still there is no mushing together, not willing to
Then you
work,
have to
not
be
willing.
honest with yourself. Like my thing about it is some people you got two ways to use it, right? But this is my thing. If a person, and this is just me, imagine yourself as y'all the only group in the world. Everybody else is extinct, right?
Hmm.
And everybody come into this cabin and say, all right, listen, we're the only people in the world. Let's make it work. They will make it work because they understand that they're the only people in the world. They don't look at it and say, yo, I got options. Social
Mm,
media make people think, not reality, that they got options. And
right.
you don't. It makes you think, oh, look at all these people liking me. Those people don't give two damn shits about you. You know what I mean? They just bored and they move on. Tell those people to pay your bill. Tell them your lights is off. Tell them you ain't got no food in the fridge. Tell them, yo, you lost your job. Can they help you with a job? You get what I mean? That's how
Hmm.
you know when people like you. Is because they see a need and want to help that need. So my thing about it, to answer your question, is, hey, this is we molding together. But
Hmm.
then you will always have that one that don't want to mold together because it's about them. So then you would see the most. Now, I'm going to be honest. If the group mostly don't mold together, then it's an issue with the group.
The
But if
dynamic.
it's just one,
Hmm.
that don't want to mold together, it's an issue with that one. Unless that one can say, yo, I'm going to be honest with you. You might not see this, but those over there's using it.
Hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I'm not with that. If you want to be cool with that, that's you. I'm going to exit out. That's
Yeah.
a difference. But if
Yeah.
one just want to just be like, I want my own place. If I sit up there and say, yo, how about all of us? Let's say it's four of us, right? Five of us
Hmm.
or whatever. And say, how
Hmm.
about all of us get a place together?
Hmm.
We Sabbath. We what we do is we're going to, and a lot. I know a lot of people like, I don't compromise. That's cool with me. Don't compromise. That's you over there. But we all sit up here and we
Over
say we
there.
compromise for
Hmm.
2 years, save up money, then we go buy land and build everybody a house on that land.
Hmm.
Guess what? Everybody just won to be an owner of their own house instead of renting, because we're all in this one house renting to save money to have ownership. That's called having a goal and having a place, and you're compromising for the greater good. Then there might always be that one person like, I want my own place. I want my own house. I need my own space. So then you say, all right, cool. Go get your own space. We're going to compromise here. Boom. Then that person say, oh, I I I couldn't pay this bill. This thing is too high. I need some money. And then I would tell them and say, listen, that won't be fair to everybody else that's compromising, because we didn't create that bill over there. We didn't help you create that bill. We didn't add to that bill, and you're taking away from us that's compromising for a greater good because you wanted your solo dolo place that
Hmm.
now that you want us to help you maintain. That's
Hmm.
not fair. You didn't want to compromise with us. So why you want to be the hole in the bucket that we have to sit up there and help you out? And some people might say, well, that's your partner. Well, that's not a person. If you can't come together for the greater good or whatever dynamic y'all building, and I'm not talking about the greater good of sex. I'm talking about the greater good of building, of having
Exactly.
something. If y'all start out in an apartment, shit, in a year and a half, 2 years, y'all should be in a house.
For
Do you
sure.
get what I'm saying?
For
If y'all
sure.
start off in a house in a year or 2 years, everybody should be in a nice car that they own, or a freaking go buy land and build a bigger house on it.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Something need to multiply. And if
Yeah.
you are sitting over there and you're saying, hey, I'm in a monogamous situation or I'm in a poly situation, and the years are going on and it's not multiplying, it's subtracting, something is wrong. That's maybe
Something.
not a situation you need to be, because one or both partners is taken away and not helping the situation multiply. There's no teamwork.
Mhm.
Hear the saying, teamwork makes the dream work. When you don't have teamwork, it's still teamwork, but you're not making the dream work. You're breaking the foundation that
For sure.
holds the dream.
For sure. So your last words?
My last words is shake the hell up. That's all. Common sense ain't common. Okay?
I'm here to enlighten you, brother.
Brother,
Bring the
hold.
light.
I got one. I got one. Redfish, blue blue fish, 1 2 step, shoulder lean, snap. Get it right, my brother.
That's here to bring the light, my brother.
The beautiful magnesia is the
Yeah.
devil. No.
Oh my God.
Let me stop. What's your last words?
Co-parenting, it can be a beautiful thing. Like you always tell me, take the emotion out of it. See the greater good as the child. It's not about you. Y'all didn't work out. Get over it. At the end of the day, put that energy towards your kid. You cannot deny a man his child. You cannot deny a woman their child, because
Mhm.
that's their child. Come to a compromise when it comes to that baby. It's not about you. Stop making it about you. Stop using that child as a pawn. It's not a chess piece. It's actually a child that needs both of their parents. So my last words is grow up. See the well-being of the child is more important than your personal feelings, and that's it.
Right. Can I add one more thing? Because you was
Sure.
all serious and I wasn't. So now I gotta be
I
serious.
said
I gotta
use
be
your
I
last
gotta be
words, sir.
I gotta be Dr. Phil Steve Harvey.
Oh
You know what
Lord,
I'm saying?
I'm, I'm giving you
No.
the mic, sir. You have the mic.
All I'm saying is, for the simple fact of the matter is, oh, you can't hear me. So what I'm saying is basically, can you? Hello,
There you go.
can you hear me? All right.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, people need to realize that when you take away from a child, whether you male or female, or woman or man, because I know a lot of people don't like female, but when you take away from a child, right, because of your own ego, of your own, what I'm saying, selfishness, you're taking away from that child. When you
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, now I can understand there's a lot of pedophiles out there that are parents. That's when you take away from that damn child and you say, no, you're not touching my child. I don't care if you are a parent. I don't care if you're an uncle, aunt, whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
know your siblings. You know the people that's around. I don't care what y'all say. If somebody say, yo, that dude touch, guess what? I don't care if we was in the fifth grade. That nigga would never be around my damn child. Why? Because you was in that predicament. That's how it goes. It's like, yo, I'm just being, hey, I don't want you around my kids. And you be like, but why, bro? Nah, just being safe. Just being safe. Because I don't want to have to kill you. You get what I'm saying? So my thing about it is when you sitting over here and that's not the case where your children mother or children father is harming the child, you need to sit over here and work it out with your children father or children mother and say, hey, how we're going to better co-parent. And if
Mm.
you're in a poly situation and y'all do have a child, that child should still be all of y'all child. You know what I'm saying? And you should want to work it out because there is situations like that. Then you don't want to be in that situation no more, and you're like, yo, nah, this is my child. It shouldn't be like that because that was already on your heart while you was in that situation.
That
Because
is
how you act outside when the relationship is over, that's who you were when you was in that relationship. You can't say, well, this person did that to me, this person, fuck what they did. You have children now. You get
okay.
what I'm saying? If they cheated on you a million times, that's them cheating on you. They ain't cheating on that child.
So your
So
last
don't
word.
rob.
What?
I'm my last word is still go the fuck out. That's it. All I'm saying is understand the value of peace. That's my
Okay.
last word. Understand the value of peace. Understand the value of unity, right? And
Mm-hmm.
understand the value of growth. Neither one of them have negativity in there. Neither one of them have fear. That's my last word. Are we cool? Are we a group?
We
Are we
get good
cool?
job.